Ah, the old get that old thing back episode. Who doesn't love love? Hello, everyone. Terrence here with Hollywood Already Did It. If you haven't already, go ahead, like, share, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, ring that bell below. Anytime we have something, you will be among the first to know. The third episode of the fourth season of the morning show is here. It is called The Tipping Point, and it is my favorite episode of the season thus far for two reasons. One, it's a Mia-centric episode, which I don't think she gets too many of those. And I think it's fascinating to see how the last 2 years of her life, her hopes and dreams have been hailed on getting this head news job, a job that we learn might not even be her own inception idea. It may not be posited by herself, but she got there. She wants this. And she ends up, whatever decision gets made, ends up being because of the collateral damage that happens between whatever's going on between Celine, Stella, and Corey. She's just a casualty of war, if you will. The other reason, and this is why it hits a little bit harder for me, is that this is a love episode. This is a romantic episode that happens in this, and I'm a sucker for a good romance. But you get to see two different folks, Alex and Bradley, kind of go back to their old thing, and will they, won't they, what happens, and the story that sort of happens with that, with Alex and Paul, and Bradley and Corey, and how it all sort of affects them and what they do going forward. Let's just jump into it. The episode begins with Mia getting on her Rocky vibe. You can see her getting prepped for her big day. This is her day. This is the day where she is going to have her final interview for the head of news position, something that she's been working on for years now. And just had Stella and Alex sort of in her corner, helping her out through all of this. You see her running, getting prepped, going through her notes. She is ready to go. You can see her walking to the UBN office prepped. She's in this. This is her day. This is her moment. She gets there, though, and Bradley is asleep 5 minutes before about to hit air. And she's like, "What the hell? Are you good?" And Bradley's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Now, it turns out Bradley had been up all night, scouring the internet, scouring police records to see if she could find out what jail Claire was in. And she had no idea, no clue, still nothing. So Chip is still looking for that. But she is dead on her feet. She gets to that show and has a terrible show. You can tell that she's in a comatose state. Her sign off is incorrect. She's giving a sign off for as if they will be back the next day when it's actually Friday. They won't be back to the weekend. She's just messing up, and everyone can see it. Everybody in the newsroom knows that Bradley is not on her game, which doesn't do Mia any favors in the long run as a person this is her day trying to prove herself as being the head of news, and you, Bradley, are sabotaging the crap out of it right now. So Bradley makes a beeline off the set after her poor performance because she gets a call from Chip that says, "I think I found Claire." And Chip sends her a video. Mia follows her, like, no, you're not just going to leave my set and not, tell me why you half-assed it right now. And because you half-assed it, I need to know if we need to have a prep meeting because I need to know if you're able to do what it is I need you to do going forward. And Bradley's like, cool. I will be here for the meeting. We'll set it up. I'll be here this afternoon. So they have a meeting set up for later that day. Mia immediately goes to Alex and is like, "Did you see Bradley?" He's like, Alex is like, "Yeah, I told you. I hate to say I told you so, but I really wanted to tell you so. Bradley's not the person for this job." And Mia's like, "Well, if she keeps on crapping the bed like she is, we're going to go to Stella and we're going to find a replacement." Alex is like, "Well, thank you. I appreciate that." Alex also knows that this is the day for Mia's big head of a news interview. She's like, "Look, I'm going to be there no matter what. I'm in your corner. Stella and I got your back. So as long as we're there, you do what you do. This is your job. Like, everybody here knows that this is your job. We got you." Then we see Chip and Bradley arrive at the precinct for Claire, and Claire's being released. Don't know on what, but she's being let out of jail. And they walk up to Claire, and Claire wants no parts of Chip. She feels that Chip didn't do enough in the previous time with the Mitch thing, or he came on too late. But Bradley's like, "Look, he's here with me. I need somebody to vet this. I need somebody on my side besides just me, and I need more information from you. So if you want me to do this, if you want me to be inside of all of this, you got to have Chip with you." And so she acquiesces and accepts that. Back at UBN, Stella, Alex, and Celine are having a meeting, and they are telling Alex that you went off and pissed off the head of the International Petroleum, which happens to be a key sponsor for UBN. And they're threatening to pull all their sponsorship because of the impromptu reporting that Alex did the other day with the protests. Alex is very much of like, it's news. Like, if you're going to sponsor a news network, there's a chance that you may be a part of the news. It should just be fine. I'm a reporter. I'm giving the news. And Stella has to remind her, like, well, yes, but you're also an executive here. Because you're an executive here, there's a different sort of level of care that needs to be had when the face of the network, one of the executives, is also bashing a key sponsor to us. And so Celine is sending Alex off on a apology mission to go speak to Zeke Pemberton, who is the head of the International Petroleum and who is threatening to pull out. She's going to send her with Mike, her husband, because Mike has a good in with Zeke. And so that's what she's off to do. She originally wants to just do it on the phone, and Celine's like, nah, this type of thing, you got to do this one in person. So Alex leaves the room, and Stella and Celine have a moment. And this is the time where Stella decides to pitch the idea of Corey returning to UBN and the film division and becoming back in the office. And Celine's like, you can't be serious. And then realizes that she is serious and knows that something has to be amok. Because why would you bring Corey back in when just moments, days, weeks ago, you were saying, stay clear of him. And now you want him back. So now Celine's sort of, the hairs on her back or her neck are sort of standing up and saying, okay, what does Corey have on you that he is able to get back into this building? Something's awry. And so she's keeping her spidey senses are tingling, understandably so. Stella says, never mind, let's table it for now. We'll talk about it later. And so she leaves out. Corey is making deals and progresses and stuff as if he's got the deal. And so he reaches out to Stella via text, like, how's the deal looking? And she's like, I'm working on it, which is not a good enough of an answer for Corey. So Corey decides to go put a little bit more coals on the fire under Stella's feet to make this deal happen and lock it in. So he reaches out to Celine directly. He is messy. There is a moment where Stella calls, and this is important because I think it shows who's willing to blow up everything and who's not between Stella and Mike. But Stella calls Mike to be like, hey, I hear you're going to Pemberton and your name's being used. Like, yeah, it was my idea. I'm going to go work it out with Celine. And then Stella asks Mike, do you think Celine knows? And Mike's like, no, I don't think she does. But would it be the worst thing if she did? And for him, he's fine. He's like, I'll blow it all up for you, for Stella. I will do everything I can to blow. He is enamored with this woman. He can't stop thinking about this woman from morning, noon, and night, which lightens up Stella a little bit even more. But Stella, as much as she feels for Mike, she doesn't want to blow up everything she has built over the last 2 years, coming up from under Corey's thumb as the protege and now building this empire with the other two women that she is a part of. She doesn't want that to blow up because she's banging her boss's husband. Bradley and Chip take Claire back to Bradley's place to get more info. And Claire is in full paranoid mode. She wants their phones secured and put into a bag off to the side. But Bradley's like, no, let's do what she wants to do. She doesn't have any more direct info about the situation. There's one thing she's sort of hiding up her sleeve, but she doesn't feel comfortable yet to give this because she doesn't want her anonymity blown up and she doesn't want this to come back on her. She's gone through enough in these last few years where she doesn't want anything to blow back on her. She's been in lawsuits that she's lost. She's tossed tons of money. And Chip knows this. And Chip thinks that she is doing all of this to sort of get back at UBN, not because she actually has a story. He doesn't believe that anything that she's giving or saying has any weight or merit. And so they're talking back and forth, and then Bradley and Chip decide to have sort of a sidebar moment outside on the terrace. When they do that, Claire decides to get the hell out of Dodge, but not before leaving a file and text on her phone that says, don't damn me, don't jam me up, don't blow up my spot. But it is a file that has records of payments that were paid out by this company that asked to get a story squashed. And one of the names was Beth Ann, somebody that Chip used to work with. And that Beth Ann, her payment is different than everybody else. It's a $2 million payment paid out on the day that the story was actually squashed. which makes red flags go up for both Bradley and Chip. And Bradley's like, I got to go back to work. I'm late for a meeting with Mia. Can you follow up with this and go see Beth Ann? Miles and Alex go to meet with Zeke. And just as Alex is about to apologize to Zeke, Paul shows up. And poor Alex reverts back to a young schoolgirl, and her stomach starts tying up in a knot. She gets sweaty. She still has feelings for Paul. And seeing him, John Hamm and all, seeing Paul does not put her in the right frame of mind. So she has to go sort of do a reset. Clear she still has something for him. So she goes to the restroom to freshen up, to reset. And she runs into a young woman named Ava Carrillo, who Alex is already aware of, has done some stuff with her before. They are in the same sort of circle. I already knew where this was going. We'll get there, but I knew I knew where that was going to play out. But they generally have a conversation about just like, why is Ava here, being a woman of color, talking about the things that she has to talk about in front of these group of white men. And it's like, sometimes you got to play the game. Sometimes you do. And she offers the words of like, look, sometimes you have to get past the personal feelings to get actual things done. Something Alex can't do sometimes. She can't get out of the way of getting out of whatever personal attack she feels has occurred, specifically in the Paul and she situation. And so that's a wise word to be used from Ava, and it may come to help her out in the back end of this episode. Corey meets with Celine at an art studio with Miles's paintings, and Miles came up with this collection when they were sort of first starting out. And Celine wanted to buy all of Miles's paintings and have the entire collection, but Miles didn't want. He wanted to do it on his own, so she let him do it. But she really loved all of those paintings. Corey offers to find all of those paintings. Like, if I can get you all of those paintings, what would that get me? And Celine responds like, it's going to take more than that to get you back, get your film company back with UBN. And she's like, okay, cool. I see Stella has at least talked to you about this. Celine is not dumb. And Celine immediately is like, I know you have something on Stella. What is it? Tell me what it is, and maybe we can make a deal. Corey's like, it's almost as if you want to have something, some type of dirt, or have an unblemished CEO so that you can kind of do whatever it is you want to. And it's like, no, I just want to know who's lying to me and who's not lying to me, who's lying straight to my face. I want to have that awareness so I can make better decisions and make better plans. Corey says, okay, well, if you want to honestly know, make my deal and you will find out. And so that was like, you would throw your protege under the bus for this? And so, oh, absolutely. He's like, without hesitation, say less. She's already under the bus as far as I'm concerned, because I want my job back. I want to be back in that building. I want to have my name. I want the power. I want the brass ring back. He says to her, look, when it is all said and done, when you're doing your deals, when you're doing your business ventures, I'm the fox, the person you want in the foxhole with you. And Stella's like, well, or could you be the fox that we all need to be sort of wary of? At that point that she says, send me what you can about these paintings and I will think about the deal. Now, her concern that she genuinely gives to Corey in this moment is like, look, even if I do this deal, when this deal is announced to the public, Bradley is in this building now. Is Bradley being in the buildings going to get a camera in her face and respond negatively, and that just sort of blows up the whole thing and affects us? I don't want mud on my face. And she keeps asking him, like, are you sure Bradley's going to be fine? And Corey's like, she'll be fine. She'll be fine. Like, okay. Speaking of Bradley, she shows up late to the meeting that she's supposed to have with Mia, and Mia lets her ass have it. She is done because she's trying to prep for her head of news meeting. But in this moment, this meeting was supposed to be, hey, I'm trying to see if I have copy that you can and can't do, because right now you've been on a shitty game since you've been back. And I don't believe that you can do this. And Bradley's like, no, I can do whatever you throw at me. And he's like, I call BS because you have not been able to do so since you've been back. And she says, maybe Alex was right. Maybe it was best to leave you in West Virginia, something that Bradley was not aware that Alex has said. So that kind of hits her in the gut. And you can see that she's thinking about things, but her brain is also preoccupied. Like, she really wants to find out what's going on with Claire. And so while this is important, it's not the end all be all for her. It's not the end all be all for Mia either, because she dismisses Bradley out of her office. Like, get the hell out. I'm done. talking to you. I will figure this out on my own. And it's at that point that Corey sends Bradley a text saying, "Hey, I have a question that I need to ask you." So at the conference party where Zeke, Alex, and Paul and Miles all are, Paul pulls Alex to the side, and he's now caught up on everything that Alex is going through with Zeke, and says, "Look, I got a proposal for you." He says, "Look, the folks that were out there protesting the gas leak or gas stuff was apparently a part of a big gas explosion a few years back where people got hurt, money was lost. Zeke believes that the people who are protesting are part of this. I'm going to send you some files and stuff now. UBN airs the story about this. Perhaps it'll sway some people where it is a little bit more balancing of the tables. And so if you can do that, I think Zeke will then reconsider and be able to continue supporting and sponsoring UBN." And Alex is like, "Wait, you want me to do a hit job? Like, we need to at least vet this." And Paul's like, "I'm giving you a favor. Like, I'm, I'm at, this is on the table for you." Alex does ask what he gets out of it, but before he can really get into that, Ava comes in and asks for where her glasses are, which gives the implication that they are in a relationship, with something that was not clear to Alex at all to this. And she has another moment where she has a momentary panic attack, kind of like, "Oh God, that is news to me," and she sort of leaves the situation. In leaving the situation, she then realizes that, "Oh crap, I'm not going to make it back to Mia's interview in time." So she gives Mia the heads up, at least, but call him like, "Hey, look, you got this. You don't have anything to worry about. Stella's there to have your back, but I'm not going to be there in time because I'm still stuck at this stuff with Pembroke." Fortunately, that gives Mia one less ally in the room, which does come back to bite her in the ass. So Mia's interview. She goes to the interview. She's talking a good game, the normal game, the game that everybody thought she was going to talk. She's in there with Celine, Stella, and then two board members. And Celine and Stella are the only ones who really have a vote in this. Alex would too, but she's not present. Celine asks Mia if she thinks the news is entertaining, to which Mia kind of stumbles a bit out the gate. And Celine continues on to say that, like, "I think we bore people. I think we're giving people medicine, and sometimes we have to circus it up a little bit, make it a little bit sexy for folks. News is a need, but we have to make it more for people." And she asked Mia to be bold. Like, "Everything you're saying, I've heard before. Like, this isn't new to me. Like, you have to say something, be bold, be incendiary. Like, you need to fire up people so that they can get sort of galvanized behind the news. And I need you to tell me something that I haven't heard." And Celine is almost basically saying in real time, like, "Look, I appreciate your dedication, but I don't think this is the job for you. Like, I don't see you having a greater vision here. Well, I need somebody who can look ahead, think about something outside the box, do new things to bring in new viewers, to bring in new content." Mia says, like, "If we do things at a high quality, the eyes will come." Celine follows back like, "That's a nice idea. It's grandiose to have that idea, but it's not sexy. Like, no one, that doesn't bring people into the news." Mia gets defensive and starts talking about all the things the journalists of yesteryear and today have to do to report the news and what they're still going through, and like the attacks that they have that are made on their life. Um, all of these things, finding out the truth about things is incendiary. It's how life is. Truth is under attack, and truth, that's what I want to deliver. She goes on to say, "Hey, the truth is incendiary and sexy. Like, that's the thing that we need to get behind." And so she rebuts and does a pretty good job. Stella even sort of is smiling at it. Like, in this moment, it feels like Mia's the way to go, right? That's how everything is going to go. Stella is selling Mia to the board. The board doesn't really have a vote, but they can kind of sort of sway or talk their sounding boards. They're going with Ben. They're thinking Ben's the better way to go. And Celine's more on board with Ben as well. So Stella asks the board folks to leave, and then the two of them have a heart to heart. Now, mind you, in this, Celine knows what she's doing. She doesn't know what Stella is hiding from her, but she knows Corey's got something on you. If Corey has something on you, you're going to do whatever he can to keep his mouth shut. Because I know you're fully behind on this Mia thing. Like, I'll give you Mia. Mia will be yours on a silver platter. And if you're not hiding anything, that's the way you're going to go. But if I set up this plan the way that I'm about to, where she says, "Hey, you can have Mia, but if you have Mia, you don't get Corey," Or if you want Corey, you're gonna have to take Ben because I don't want it to seem like she uses the guys like I don't want it to seem like favoritism, like we're bringing in all old blood. Let's bring in old blood and new blood with Ben and Corey, and no one's going to ask a question about an eye. But if we bring in Mia and Corey, it's going to seem like old hat here. Celine basically puts a trump card in front of Stella, and she has to make a decision. But it also shows her hand because Celine knows that you have been behind Mia all this time. So if all of a sudden you're throwing Mia out with the bathwater just to get Corey in here, Corey knows something. I'm gonna find out what it is. And so she's like, cool, make that decision. You have until the end of the day before I need that decision. We all know that because Stella does not want that information that Corey has out, Mia, as good as she did in this interview, as good as she's been doing at her job, as dedicated as she has been, she's not getting that head of news job. And that sucks. Paul meets up with Alex again at the convention, the party that's happening, and apologizes to Alex about Ava. And she's like, you don't owe me an apology about Ava. But she was hurt. She was genuinely hurt, not because that she's moved on. It's been 2 years. Like, I get it. You moved on. That he moved on first. Like, that's the thing that gets under her skin the most. They have a pretty good heart to heart here, and like, they don't understand what became of each other after the relationship. They both have resentment towards each other. And Paul doesn't really understand why he's the bad guy. Like, he's like, I lost everything after our relationship broke up. Like, I went bankrupt. I became a pariah. I've got nothing. You went on to get a global empire and a network. Like, I don't see why you're so angry at me. And it's like, I lost things. And she's in a roundabout way saying, I lost you. I don't have you. And I wanted that. And I wanted it all. Paul says we were a team. Now it's like, yeah, were we though? Because like, everything that you wanted to do, you had an ulterior motive. You had an agenda for it. You don't do things just out of the goodness of your heart or because it's the best thing for both of us. There's always a side story to this. Even the thing you brought to me earlier from Zeke has an agenda to it. Like, you're going to get something out of it. You don't operate as if you don't get something out of it. And I don't know what you're doing with Ayla, poor thing, but like, what's the agenda there? Like, everything you do in life has an agenda. You use people. And so while that's a piece of it, she's also more hurt that he moved on first. So it's a little bit of both column A and a bit of column B. And so she leaves, walks away from the situation, and Paul's kind of just stuck there digesting all the information that Alex just gave her. As Alex is leaving, Zeke catches her and is like, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. You got into the end of the day. And it's at that point that Alex sends to her team, like, hey, vet this information quickly because I need to make a decision by the end of the day. We might have to do some digital copy on this. Chip meets with Beth Ann and uses the guise of a new movie to sort of be the reason why he's trying to suss out information. Chip asks why she left UBA at that time, and she says she can't speak on it due to signing an NDA. He then decides to show her a file the file that Claire sent that showed that $2 million got deposited to her. And it is clear that Beth Ann believes that she's being surveilled or that she's under a watch. And so she's not willing to say anything. She's verbally saying, hey, I signed an NDA. She didn't want to meet Chip at her house specifically, probably because she thinks she's bugged. And even in this, when she gives Chip a heads up of what to do next, it's via the guise of saying, hey, can I get your updated phone number? Because I don't think I have it. She texts stuff in a phone so that only he can read, but not verbally saying it because she is under the belief that someone is watching her. But she texts it or puts it in a phone that, hey, you need to check old UBA records, specifically of October of 2018, I believe it was, and then gives him the specific deposition to search for. And then she wishes him the best, and likewise. And so it's clear that she wants no parts of this, but she feels like I'm under a thumb. I'm being watched, and I don't want to bring you into the muck that I have. I don't want to bring you in my house. I don't have people watching you, but just so you're aware, it ain't safe. It's not safe out here. Bradley goes to see Corey, and it's two awkward kids who have serious feelings for each other, but who don't know how to tell each other or make a move. It's cute. It's adorable. And I'll give my opinion about one thing when it's all said and done. So Bradley feels like UBN is different to her. Like, she feels like since she's been back, it's been different. Maybe she's different, but she feels like she's returned and she's kind of walking on the outside of it. Like nobody really accepts her. She doesn't feel a part. Like Alex doesn't want her. Mia now doesn't want her. She's like, I don't feel like I have any allies here. It's at that point, after a couple glasses of wine, he asked if she implicated or put his name in anything with the feds. He sort of says, hey, look, there's a potential job that's occurring that I may be getting, and I just kind of want to know, am I good? Is my side of the street okay so that I can put my head back out without getting shot off? And she's like, look, I gave them some things, but I did not give them your name under any circumstance whatsoever. You're safe. And she kind of feels bad that 2 years have gone on and she didn't call him to give him the heads up that, like, hey, no, you don't have anything to worry about. You going about wondering if I effed up your life again. And Corey's kind of like, you didn't F up my life. My life's fine. Like, you didn't F up anything. Sure, I lost things. I lost my mansion, my house, my pension. Like, I lost things, but you didn't F up my life. Things changed, but none of it had anything to do with you, Bradley. And she said she convinced herself that Corey hated her. And he's like, no, I could never. Says I didn't, and I don't hate you. He then gives her the heads up that, hey, there's a deal happening or possibly happening that could put me back in the building. I just wanted to, the UBN building. I just want to give you that heads up that we may be working on the same building. You won't be my boss. You won't be reporting to me, but there may be eyes or cameras that come to you to ask you some questions that we might get looks and questions about being in the same building together. And it's at that point, they're kind of like, well, hold on. Brad is the way, you won't be my boss. Like, I won't be reporting to you. F it. We drunk. We feeling each other. Let's get it on. And so finally, the will they, won't they is over, and the two of them make love. And, finally, I love that for both of them. Now, here's the problem that may occur, though. When it is all said and done and the Stella Celine piece of it all comes out, I do wonder if Celine is going to use the fact that, like, hey, I gave Corey the heads up that Bradley could be upset by this, and maybe you sleeping with Bradley keeps her under thumb. That's the only thing that I could see sort of mucking up what they have, is that, like, Celine's like, oh, you only slept with her because you needed her to be docile in this. And I would hate that for them because, it's such a happy moment. But nobody stays happy in this series. So Stella brings in Mia to give her the news, and it goes about as well as you think it thought it would go. She gives her the news that she's not getting the head job, but she tries to buffer it by saying, I'm going to give you a raise. And in 6 months, when Ben flames out, you will be the person that has the head of the news job. It'll be all yours because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And Mia quickly is like, you promised me that 2 years ago. Like, what's the difference now? And she kind of goes on to be like, hey, Ben doesn't know what he's doing. Ben's in Atlanta. When did he interview for this? It's like before he left. So then that gives me the sort of added rage. It's like, oh, so my interview, this whole day was pointless. I never stood a chance. To which Stella can't come out to say that you did stand a chance. I just can't put you there because it's going to F up my thing. She can't throw egg on herself. And so she has to just kind of let Mia sulk and take this punishment. And Mia's like, I didn't even want this damn thing. Like, I had no idea what the head of news job was. I wanted no parts of it, but you and Alex put this in my head, and you've been dangling this carrot in front of me for these last 2 years. So I've been on this rat race to get this, and now you're telling me it's not obtainable? And Stella hits her again with, like, I'm saying after 6 months it'll be yours. Like, I don't want to wait. No, that's not a thing. Like, and Stella lets her know, like, this makes me feel as bad as it does you. It's like, no, it doesn't. Like, it has no effect on you because you get to sit from on high, make this decision, and it doesn't bother you or have changed anything in your day-to-day at all. But for me, my entire job changes because now I have somebody else that'll report to. The entire news team is now reporting to somebody else, and you want me to be here to be his babysitter? F all that. That ain't happening. I'm out. Like, F you. She is livid. And it's that point that she says, I hope that whatever Celine is offering you is worth it. Wow. And it's at that point that Stella flips it. And some of this is probably because she wants to push Mia away a little bit, to not be in this muck anymore. But she starts saying, like, Ben's the better person for the job. When Ben was better, Ben is better for the future. And I think it's done in this way to sort of remove the thought of the head news of job. Like, this has been consuming her life for 2 years. And I think she wants to sort of free her as a friend, but also to sort of get her out of this, go find work somewhere else. Because you're going to always get hurt and damaged here. And in this, she's like, I thought you were, Mia says, I thought you were a friend. And Stella's like, I'm your friend and your boss. And it's like, no, you're not a friend. And you're not my boss either, because she quits. And then she goes off the elevator, has a little breakdown, and Stella has a bit of a breakdown in the office. And then we get a sort of a montage of Ava giving a speech at this convention. We see Bradley and Corey in the throes after they've had a passionate night of lovemaking. See Stella freaking out. We see that Celine has found and purchased that painting. So Corey has come through on his end of what it is that he's supposed to do. And we see that Alex is figuring out what to do with the story, because the person that she had the interview with seems to be tied in. It may not be the person who blew up everything, but he seems to have a tie into the incident that occurred with the gas line breaking and explosion. She doesn't have enough to push the button and make the story. To which then Miles shows up, talks to Zeke, comes over to Alex, is like, look, I don't know what you did, but Zeke's still sponsoring and everything. And Alex is like, well, I haven't pushed the button. Like, I don't. And then she realizes it was Paul. She texts Paul's like, what do I owe you for this? He's like, what do you, no, actually says, what do you get out of this? And he says nothing. I think what she said to him hit him so hard that maybe it is good to just do something, and to do something for somebody I care. Like, I hurt you. Like, me moving on first was like my sort of stab in the back. So this is my way of saying, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry because like I have to move on, but I am sorry that like you feel that you are in pain because I have moved on from this situation. And that's the episode. A lot happens in this. We get the Corey and Bradley finally hooking up. We get Mia just saying F this place. And so when we introduce Ben, what happens to the newsroom? Like, do they lose the room? What happens there? What happens when you insert Corey back into UBN and he becomes a part of that triangle with the three ladies? Like, can he can answer to three women? Like, that's going to be hard for him while having this thing with Bradley on the side. Like, it's a lot of moving parts here, but it's making for a very, very good story. And I'm excited to see what UBN turns into when they are all aware that now Ben is the person that they have to respond to. And what happens when Bradley's story blows up to the point where it does come back to affect Corey and the rest of UBN? Like, does their relationship get out? Does Miles continue to not really give a damn about his relationship with Celine, but Stella is holding on to dear life to kind of keep the power and keep control? Oh, messy soap opera of the morning show. I love it. What did you guys think about this episode called Tipping Point? Which, yes, it certainly was. But leave your thoughts and comments in the comments below. If you haven't already, you can follow us on X at HollywoodADI. You can hit us up on email at HollywoodAlreadyDidIt@gmail.com. We also have a podcast with the same name. That's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere the place podcasts. We're there. And like always, I got my ticket. You got yours.